Hey guys, it's Lainey here, the nutrition specialist with Steel Strength Training, and today is a good day. You know why? Because it finally feels like fall in Alabama, and I got my homemade chai tea latte. So I'm excited about the video today because we're going to talk about something very close to home for hopefully everyone at Steel Strength Training. But we're going to talk about the differences between strength training and cardio. All right? There's been a lot of debate over the years, but I feel like research is coming out more and more, and people are finally agreeing on the outcomes. So, let's talk about it. So, cardio is also defined as elevated heart rate activity that can be sustained for a long amount of time. However, I would add that even doing things like sprinting and interval training like that is considered cardio. So some examples would be cycling, swimming, hiking, things like that, where you're out of breath, you're gasping for air, and your heart rate is definitely at least above 100 beats per minute. Depends on the person though. Weight training or strength training, however, is going to be things like lifting barbells, dumbbells, resistance band. Anything with resistance is going to be building that strength training, those muscles. So that will still elevate your heart, and it should, but it's not to the same level as pure cardiovascular exercise. So the big debate that's been going on is that cardio is the only thing you should be doing for weight loss, or cardio is better in terms of weight loss than strength training. So they're not entirely wrong, but hear me out. Cardio is good for weight loss because it burns more calories per hour than strength training does. However, if you look into that, there's more than just the calories burning that matters. So, for instance, if I go run for an hour, that would be a long time. Probably won't do that. But if I did, I would burn more calories than I would doing strength training for an hour. That's just how it is. That's how, heart rate works and calorie burning. However, with strength training, you burn less calories. That is true. But strength training also decreases your chance for diabetes, cardiovascular disease, all the obesity, all the things. And it burns a lot of calories as well. But the thing that's distinct about strength training is that it's the only thing that will actually change your body composition, and that's because you're increasing your muscle mass. Cardiovascular fitness does build muscle, but not in the way that strength training does. So, with running, you will definitely, if you're eating well, you will lose weight as much as you would doing strength training and eating well. But with strength training, you're going to lose it in a different way than you would cardio. So for example, if I do strength training and I eat well, my muscles are going to stay worked all over. When you're running or doing cardiovascular, it's hard to get all types of your muscles and all over your body, versus strength training, you're able to get and target all the muscles over your body. You cannot, however, do certain exercises and target, let's say you're doing core. Doing core you don't specifically lose fat in that area. It's literally impossible. Only diet and calories will make you lose fat, but you can't target it to a certain area. So things like, hey, do this belly burning weight training program or whatever. That is marketing. That's not necessarily true. But if you eat well and you work out and do core, you're building your core muscles, which might make your abs seem more apparent, and you're eating well, so you're decreasing your fat. That would be an example of how you could, belly burn doing a program, but you cannot target it to a certain area. So the main benefits for cardiovascular disease or cardiovascular fitness is that because you can get your heart rate, like I get my heart rate higher doing, some sort of running, exercising versus weight training. So my cardiovascular fitness, my VO2 max, things like that are going to go up with my cardiovascular training. But with strength training, you don't have that as much. But the misconception is that any exercise, whether it's strength training or cardiovascular fitness, is going to decrease your chance for cardiovascular disease and other obesity related illnesses. So any exercise is better than no exercise. The problem is that people want to say like one is the only thing you need to do, like strength training is the only thing you need to do, or cardio is the only thing you need to do. You will be fine if you do one or the other in terms of cardiovascular disease, most likely. But the best thing that you can do for your body and for your health long term is to combine both. And that's because strength training is going to be the thing that strengthens your bones. Your bone density decreases your chance for osteoporosis, and is going to help you age better, especially with your joint pain and strengthening those small muscles that aren't worked with cardio. But you can't ignore cardio either, and that's why we prescribe, whether it's walking or running or playing tennis on the other days that you're not at steel. So the best thing that you can do if you're at steel or just on your own is, yes, we're going to do strength training together. We're going to coach you through that. But on the other days, it is really good for fat burning, calorie burning, to do stuff on your own, whether it's a body weight workout to get your heart rate up, whether it's walking hills or getting your steps in, or running, or whatever it is. That's when you need to make it count. And that's when you need to do your cardio. That's just going to burn more calories in the end, and it's going to help with your cardiovascular health long term. So if you've noticed, like, gym bros who only have ever done deadlifts and squats their whole life, if someone was chasing them, they're going to have a really hard time running away from a kidnapper, because they've not run in years, and they will only do strength training and not mixing in other things that's going to get your heart rate up more and help with your cardiovascular fitness. However, I know people who only run and only do long distance running or whatever it is, they tend to have more joint pain. I will say that. I learned that in school, that long distance running is the hardest exercise on your body long term. We're talking miles and miles and miles. But they don't do strength training, so they run into a lot of injuries. They run into shin splints, they run into tendonitis, things like that faster, because you're only overusing the same muscles when you run. Versus when you strength train, you're using a bunch of different muscles and you're strengthening them individually. Versus running, it's easy to overuse those same muscles because it's the same movement for miles and miles and miles. So that's kind of talking through everything and just making sense of it, because it is kind of a hot topic. But I hope this makes sense. I hope that answers some of y'all's questions. And just to have a conclusion, to sum it all up, the answer is doing both is best. Cardiovascular and strength training is best and paired. However, don't be scared of strength training, and don't think that you're going to get bulky and look like a man or whatever it is if you're a woman. And don't be scared of cardio either. It is possible to lose muscle doing too much cardio, but if you're pairing them well, if you're strength training 2 to 4 times a week and doing cardio with that, or vice versa, you're gonna be okay. So I think we don't need to overthink it. I think we need to just not make excuses and do both cardiovascular fitness and strength training for the best results possible. But again, I know I say this in every video, but if you really want to burn fat, sadly it's going to happen the most in the kitchen, and the fitness, whether it's cardio or strength training, is going to be your icing on the cake to burn those extra calories throughout the day. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Next, I hope whenever you watch this that you can have a chai tea latte as well, or coffee. But yeah, enjoy this season, enjoy the fall and the cozy weather, and I hope to see you in the gym soon, or I hope to see you on YouTube soon as well.